Steal an Election, opened in 1968 off-Broadway. It was a satire about all of the ways that presidents of the United States of America, from George Washington to JFK, had bent justice and the system to their own end.
Set in then current day 1968, a white woman played by Carol Demas and a black man played by Clifton Davis returned from the riot-filled Democratic National Convention and were taken through history by Calvin Coolidge.
Definitely my favorite way.
Eventually learning that corruption had always been the American way. Shortly after the show closed, after 89 performances, Watergate happened, making the musical, even with its slight optimism, feel dated and unrevivable.
The show included actual campaign songs, as well as a book and score by William F. Brown, who later wrote the book To the Wiz, and Oscar Brand, the folk singer-songwriter and radio personality. The Times called it a pleasantly bright look at the history of the American presidency, and a primer on how to make it yourself by smear, bribe, and bamboozle, sparklingly staged with a tuneful music presented as a mock pageant with slides and film.
The Pocket Theater, where the show played, was once located at 3rd Avenue and 13th Street. It was an off-Broadway house for only 6 years in the 60s. In the early 20th century, it had been a music hall and beer garden in a V shape with one entrance on 3rd Ave and another on 13th Street, part of which is now Classic Stage Company. Isn't that crazy? Following its time as an off-Broadway house in the 60s, the Pocket became a film house for gay porn, and its name was changed to The Jewel. Today it's a cocktail bar called The Vinyl. Oh, you can go see Gay Hawaii there.
Seduction of Mimi.
Yes. So the next time you're at Classic Stage, just think of Gay Hawaii. Interestingly, the show was originally announced for Broadway, with Alan Sherman directing. Also interesting, the New York Times actually censored the advertisements for the show, which originally featured former presidents stuffing votes into ballot boxes. They did allow them to use these ads, which, if you'll look, they're actually scattered amongst the other ads. There's 3 How to Steal an Election ads.
If you can't convince them, confuse them. And a bigot is someone who calls someone else a bigot.
Pretty crazy, right? Drink every time you need to drink.
Life advice from Jennifer Ashley Tepper. So both Carol Demas and Clifton Davis were widely praised for their performances. The Times wrote, equipped with lovely voices, which are harnessed to thoughtful songs, the two stand out in a cast that breathes vigor, humor, and talent. Demas would soon go on to originate the role of Sandy in Grease, and Davis had just come from playing Cornelius in Hello, Dolly with Pearl Bailey, and would soon be starring on CBS in a show with his name in the title. He also wrote the song Never Can Say Goodbye for the Jackson 5, and originated the role of Valentine in the musical Two Gentlemen of Verona.
Here to sing Clifton Davis's big number from How to Steal an Election, welcome Alan H. Green.
A bigot is someone who calls someone a bigot. Woo. This is from How to Steal an Election. Here we go. Who cares what you want? Who cares how you feel? They own all the cards. They won't let you near. You may well know you can be replaced. What a waste. Nobody's listening. What good would it do if you should complain? They'll open the plug, you'll go down the drain. Don't bother to shut, you don't like the scene. What I mean, nobody's listening. Oh, the men up there, they are deaf and they're blind to everything down below. They are old and they're sick, but you wouldn't mind. Except you know they run the show, so don't rock the boat and don't make a fuss. 'Cause if anyone accepting your death. So sing